coral bleaching. I was wondering how many of you guys like going down to like Newport or Laguna and like walking around the like little tide pools and just seeing all the animals? Sick. A lot of people like the beach. That's good because we live in Southern California. In 2005, the U.S. reported that in, I want to say it was Costa Rica, 50% of their coral reefs had died out from coral bleaching, which greatly affected the ecosystem. And there were satellite like messages or something, like they got the information that that was more damage than has been done in the past 20 years in just 1 year alone. So coral is dying out at a very aggressive rate, and scientists say that by 2050, all of the coral reefs could be dead. So now that I've kind of talked a little bit about coral reefs, I want to go into what coral reefs are, what coral bleaching is, and what scientists are doing to help us. So from Amadia, from Coral Reefs 2018, coral reefs are buildups of little calcium carbonate, and they kind of form these little skeletons that fish can swim around, they eat off of it, it's a source of shelter. So they also protect coastlines, and they provide habitats for fish and other little sea life, little shrimps and stuff. And then it was Bauer from the Queensland Museum 2018 said that they are a source of nitrogen and other nutrients of the food chain, which also help our little underwater friends. They also assist in carbon and nitrogen fixing, which also helps us on land because it helps with our trees, like what trees take in, what we breathe, everything along that point. What is coral bleaching and what causes it? Coral bleaching refers to the dramatic loss of xanthophyne, I think it is, or I don't remember how to say it, population. But basically what happens is they are the little colorful parts in the coral, and then they eventually start dying off due to like warm water or pollution. And once they die off, it turns to like a very, very like white coral, and then so at that point, fish can't feed off of it, and they don't use it for protection as much because it just blends in with everything else. So there was no author, but NOAA, the National Ocean Services, in 2010 said that when the warmer water can produce coral bleaching, so once the water warms up, the inner little zooxanthophyne like to die. So that means that fish can't feed. And then bleached coral is also not dead coral, but it is more susceptible to disease. And also if there's like disasters, it's a lot more susceptible to being able to die off. So how can we solve this issue? It was, I'm so bad at source names. Oh, Koala from the Experiments of Marine Biology and Ecology 2017 said that there was an experiment going back to the NOAA research that scientists had helped build shades over areas of coral in South America. And they did like 3 sections, so one section had no coral, one section had 50%, and one section had 75%, and they found that the coral that had been shaded had grown at a much faster rate and was much stronger than the rest of the coral. And then Guess from the Conversation 2018 said that there's also 3D printing of coral, which is seen like right here and right here. So they like to build these and then they decorate them so the fish can come by and then use it for shelter. They can't use it as a food source anymore, but little things like to grow on top of it, so they can use that as a food source after. And where am I blanking out? This is the biggest one that they have. It was called, they did the acronym MARS, which is definitely different from the like Mars rover, but it's still like the same type of company that does it. And then to recap, I talked about what coral reefs are, why they're getting, or what what is coral bleaching and why they are getting bleached out. And if you want any information to learn more about it, you can go to the Smithsonian Ocean, National Geographic, or the Great Barrier Reef has really cute like little education videos